Week 11 in the NFL here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with returning guest Doug Upstone from sports-watch.com. Doug, looking good this week. Look at that. Looking good, feeling good.
Sometimes you gotta change it up,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm looking to do this week. Haven't had quite the results I've wanted, but we're going to see if we can change it up and make it a little bit more interesting this week.
Yep. No, in sports betting, if you want to be a winner, you got to look like a winner. Or if you want to be a loser who loses more slowly than you used to, you got to look like a loser who loses more slowly than you used to.
There you go.
All right. So before we get into Chargers and Broncos, tell us a little bit about what's going on at sports-watch.com.
Well, sports-watch.com, it's a sports monitor, and one of the things in the NFL, I tell you, we got a whole host of guys that are just killing it in the NFL. I mean, we got guys that records, a couple different guys that are over 65% right now in the NFL. Have a whole host of guys that are, plus units overall. It's been a great season for many of those. Of course, the underdogs, which a lot of handicappers like to play, have been consistently good all year, which has certainly contributed, to the success of these guys. And anybody that's looking for a handicapper and not doing what they want going into the second half of the season, so definitely look at sports-watch.com to see the records of these guys. And because what we promote is honesty with integrity, and check out these records and see if they fit what you're actually looking for.
Interesting. So these guys who are winners at your site, do they also look like winners?
I can't vouch for everybody. I can only talk about myself in this case.
All right. Okay. All right. That's it. Maybe I'll ask you to look into that, because if they don't look like winners, that might, throw doubt on the entire, if you want to be a winner, look like a winner theory of life. But we'll see.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Peter.
Maybe that'll be for next show. All right. Chargers at Broncos. The Broncos are an 8-point home favorite. The total's 48.5. Denver, of course, rolling, scoring 30 points every game. Chargers, of course, dysfunctional, but they do still have, talent on the field where, you wouldn't be surprised if for 1 week they suddenly played much better than they have been over the previous weeks. But, they are clearly dysfunctional. I'm looking at this game. I'm thinking the over 48.5 might be the best way to play this. I did bet a little bit on opening. The side makes me a little bit nervous going either way. What do you like here?
With a victory over San Diego, Denver can start thinking about home field advantage in the AFC with essentially having a 4-game lead in the division. Now, what has catapulted the Broncos near the top of the conference is not only the play of Peyton Manning, but his defense. Denver has forced 9 turnovers in their last 4 games and generated 17 sacks. Now, you mentioned San Diego, Peter. Wow, what a mess. Since their 2-0 start, the Chargers have transformed from Kate Upton into Roseanne. Reports from SoCal have the bloggers thinking Phillip Rivers should be benched, Dave Matthews is a better possible runner than Ryan Matthews, and Norv Turner should be fired for the 100th straight week.
Yeah.
As you know, Peter, the NFL is all about contrarian thinking. The last 2 weeks, I have been on the side of the wise guys and the public action and lost both times. Though I'm personally having a pretty good year in the NFL, I want to deliver a selection this week that is going to go against the grain. Now, San Diego, as you mentioned, I've seen some 8.5s, but they actually opened at 7.5, and so in this case, I'm looking at this and saying, perfect. This is a Norv Turner special. His team is down. They're out. They're being ridiculed. They're being left for dead. They are in total desperation, which I think leads to Phillip Rivers playing his best game of the season. The defense actually has not played poorly all year except for one bad half against Peyton Manning when he went sick on them in the second half, and I think they come up with a stout performance. Now, besides being heated rivals, Denver also ratted out San Diego on the supposed Towelgate, which was proven untrue, adding one more element to the Superchargers' fire. With Denver fat and sassy after 4 straight wins and covers, the Bolts moved to 6-0-1 against the spread in the Mile High City and just maybe win this one outright.
Wow. A shocker of a pick. Wow. Doug Upstone, I don't even know what to say. So you're saying you recommend betting Phillip Rivers over Peyton Manning?
This week I do, yes. Wow. And like I said, because, again, I'm going with contrarian thinking here. San Diego, the NFL often is about desperation, okay? I'm not talking about the last 2 weeks of the season when everybody's desperate trying to make the playoffs. I'm talking about in-season desperation. And this is where San Diego's at. They have put themselves in this spot. Can they lose this game? Of course they can. Could they get blown out? Of course they could. But I just think this is the right situation for them to bounce back, to have a focused effort against a division opponent, knowing that for all intents and purposes, their season is riding potentially on this game. Contrast that with Denver, like I said, which has won and covered 4 in a row. You just don't keep covering in the NFL on a consistent basis week after week after week. And I think this is a really good spot, given all the circumstances, for San Diego to come in and take a spread winner and maybe a little more.
Wow. Awesome analysis. Bold, ballsy pick, Doug Upstone from sports-watch.com. I love it. Thanks once again. We'll talk to you next week.